Hello and welcome to today's episode of Learn This Deck with the Dreaming Way Tarot. And we're looking at the fives of the Minor Arcana. So before we get into the cards and the card stories, let's have a quick look at what the number 5 is all about. Now, according to the little white book and the little, the section that talks about numerology in the LWB, the deck creator says that number 5 represents a difficulty or a challenge. This is the final struggle before you advance to a new stage of development, and that is precisely what we're going to see in the 5 number cards. The number 5 cards through the 4 suits. So it's like at 3 we had the sort of consolidation of the beginning, and at 4 we had a stable situation. Then in 5 things start to change because there is a challenge that suddenly appears from nowhere, and then when you overcome that, I guess you move on to the 6, which we will see again tomorrow, but just thinking in that sequence. So let's see what the challenges are in the 5s of the Minor Arcana, shall we? First off, the Suit of Wands. So let's have a quick look at what the picture is like in the 5 of Wands of this deck. And what we see over here is a very interesting but not a very kind sort of situation. We have one guy and looks like he is being bullied by other guys. So it's like he's been cornered. He is, he's the guy in the red vest, and it looks like they called him somehow to that place, and now all of these guys are ganging up on him. All of them have 5 wands, so each of them has one wand pretty much, but then this one guy is getting cornered, is getting harassed, is getting bullied by these other guys, each of them with their wands, but this guy being bullied, he's kind of, his wand has been subdued in some way, like this is not a nice picture. Not a nice picture at all. But sometimes this happens, even if, because we're looking at this picture, and let's say we have to interpret it in terms of, say, within a team, for instance, then you can often see that you do like often see this happen even in a team, say at work or any place where one person might get sort of bullied upon or ganged upon by the other people into doing their work, maybe, or into doing certain things, maybe. And it's not always a pretty nice sort of situation. So obviously, upright, this card means bullying or forcing someone to agree with or accept your idea over others, right? It's ganging up on someone like that. So it could be that, let's say this one guy has a great idea, but then others are not for that idea, and they have some other idea that they want to push forward. But instead of going about it in a peaceful manner, they threaten him, they bully him, they get, gang up on him, and they make him they make him withdraw his idea from the whole game. So that could be very well the situation being, described here in this card. So when this card becomes reversed, this whole situation will become topsy-turvy. It will turn on its head. Now the likelihood of these guys being able to actually bully him will be less, and the likelihood of him giving into that bullying will be less. So now reverse, we can see this card could mean not giving in to bullying, or that you're unable to force someone into doing something, or that the ganging up literally does not work. Most of the files, you will actually like to see them reversed. So this is one space, one situation, one kind of card where it's good if you see them reversed. So what was my card story like? In the 5 of Wands, I found myself getting into the head of the young guy with the red vest, the one who was getting bullied upon, and this is what came. All of them think that they can scare me by tricking me like this, but I know that their tricks won't work. Not again, not anymore. I got tricked by them once and now I'm suffering because of it. There won't be another time. Yes, I'm scared right now, but only until I figure out how to walk out of here, and then they're gonna get it. So, the way the story kind of unfolded in my head when I was in that card, sort of writing the story, was that they tricked him somehow to come there by giving him some, like a wrong, like an invitation for a party or something. Like they basically misled him to believe something else friendlier was going to happen. And when he got there, they just kind of ganged up on him. So now he's just sitting there taking it because he's all by himself and he can't fight back right now. The moment he finds a way out, he's going to make sure that he gets back at them, that he's going to make sure that they're going to pay for what they did to him. So this guy, he's just sitting there quietly because he's by himself. So he's equally scary too, huh? Interesting. It's just a numbers game at this point for him, right? So when he maybe he'll get his own gang of friends and get back at them or something. Oof, okay. This is what happens, with the passion of the fire energy, the wand's energy. That's how it goes, I guess. So this was the kind of challenge, the difficulty there with the Five of Wands. Let's see how it manifests with the Suit of Swords. My goodness. So again, we have really gorgeous imagery and a very stark, snow-filled, barren-treed background. And then we have two people wearing all kinds of clothes fit for winter, I guess. And this one guy, he's holding 5 swords and he's smiling, smirking, and basically looking pretty happy and pleased with himself. And then there's the other person who, well, isn't having any swords and is just looking like he's sulking. So could be maybe this guy has all the 5 swords and he's not going to let this other fellow have it, or maybe he's not willing to share it, or he's just totally not going to give him the swords, or maybe he took the other guy's sword for himself. Anything. This is a permutation you could just come up with something. It's all, I guess, in a reading, out of these different combinations you could just hone into something intuitively, and that would exactly describe the situation. But what it is this is a sword situation, so it's going to be having arguments, it's going to be having words harshly spoken, right? Even the background kind of says this is a stark, harsh, barren situation. So words are spoken, and one guy has won and one guy has lost. So, upright, this card could indicate a victory in an argument or a fight. Or if you feel that your client is the other guy, it talks about giving up in an argument or a fight. But essentially, this one fellow is smirking, he's bullying, and he's arguing his way to success or to victory. So this is again the energy of the swords, because we have all the different swords kind of cutting through with their own straight, harsh logic in their story, and it's just, so the one person who has all his swords in his hand is the one wielding them, and he's the one sort of cutting away everybody's argument. It is a kind of a bullying, it is a kind of a argument where he just wins. So that's your 5 of Swords upright. But now let's see what happens when this guy becomes reversed. All those swords are likely going to fall out of his hands now. He's going to lose his argument or his fight. Or the other person, the one who's walking away, he doesn't walk away now. He doesn't give up in this argument and in this fight. Or whatever this argument is, now in the upright, at least it was a straight up sort of argument. One wins, one loses, and then they go their merry way. But now it turns nasty. It could become gossiping, or it could talk about spreading malicious rumors about the other person. So again, this card in the reverse is not necessarily happy or pretty or preferable, but it still is a little bit better than the upright one. So that is just how the energy of the fives manifests here. So what is the card story? I found myself actually in the head of the guy who was bullying, who actually won. So there I was, and I was like, I won, finally. Sometimes you just need to take a stand and just take what you want. Otherwise, people will only take advantage of you. I've learned this through harsh experience. There are only two types of people in this world: the ones who take what they want and the ones who give up. I know which one I am. Now, here's the thing: if someone is bullying the other person, doesn't necessarily make him a bad person. You just need to find out what's going on before you sort of pass judgment, and that is a very important lesson to learn. Just because you see something going on and you think that this is what is going on doesn't mean that it is exactly what you thought it to be. You need to really get to know the situation better. You really need to understand what's going on before you actually pass judgment. Now, as I was in the head of this guy, I realized that maybe he is bullying, but then he's not bullying because he's a bully here right now. He's taking a stand for some sort of injustice that was probably thrown at him at one point of time. So he's taking that stand and he's going for what he wants. So I can't necessarily think that this guy is nasty. Sometimes I feel like he's just lashing out because he suffered in silence for a while. So that's my Five of Swords story. Okay, so from there, let's go on to the watery energy of the cups. And here's the picture of the Five of Cups from the Dreaming Way Tarot. Very different from the traditional imagery though. And here we have two people. One girl is looking at three cups which, kind of are falling from her hands and standing behind her with backs to each other. So there's the other girl who is holding on to the two cups. And so it's like this one is looking at the cups that are falling and she's just focused on that. And she's not looking at the friend of hers or this person behind her who is still holding on to the two cups, which represent, friendship there. And so meanings are upright. This one person is sad over the loss of the three cups. Maybe the three cups represent friendships, but in a group of more than two. So obviously that way, like a group of friends or whatever, some beautiful friendship or a group that was not there anymore, right? And then ignoring what you have and focusing on what you lost. So this is again very, it happens, you just focus on what's gone and you don't see what you still have. And then the third meaning was from the point of view of the other girl, waiting patiently for the other person to acknowledge your presence. And this girl, she requires to be, she's really patient. She's like, okay, she's gonna figure, the other person's gonna figure it out. So I'm gonna wait here till she figures it out that I'm still around. I haven't ditched her, whatever. So that's your Five of Cups upright. But now let's see what happens as the card becomes reversed. I feel all the cups are gonna fall off and it's just gonna be crazy. Or this woman is going to turn around and look at the other one, right? So we have someone who gets over her loss or discovers what she still has, or and also moving away from focusing only on what is gone. So Five of Cups again in the reverse is slightly more preferable than the upright version. Okay, so what was my card story? I found myself at the head of the other girl, the one who's waiting patiently. And I was like, I wonder when you will realize that I'm still here. I've been patient so far and I've waited. But this whole time, all you were doing is crying about the ones who left you all alone. If you turn around, you will see, here I am, and I've never left your side, not even once. So this is a true friend, really. And this girl is just like, hey, whereas the other one is like always focusing on the other stuff, people who've gone. So again, not necessarily a very happy picture. This is a picture full of mixed emotions, really. It is a challenging scenario. All right. Okay, so let's get on with the pentacles. And here we have a picture which is pretty similar to your traditional Five of Pentacles picture. We have someone sitting outside a door, well, not looking so good. Yeah, and on the door we have the Five Pentacles, but this one is outside on the street, maybe begging. This picture is all about poverty and hardship. It is about rejection and the fear of rejection, which are two separate things, really, if you think about it. Now, this is hardship where you absolutely, this is material hardship. This is also a situation where you do not have money and you maybe are forced to beg on the streets so you can eat, you can live. And either you are totally rejected because like she could totally maybe go inside that house and ask for help, but she's been rejected maybe, or she can go in there but she knows that, or she fears that she will be rejected, and that's why she does not go in. That's your fear of rejection. You don't try something because you think you're going to fail. So again, preferably if this card becomes reverse, what you will see is you will find a way out of that financial hardship and you will overcome your fear of rejection. So this is again another card which is, once you see it reverse, it's like, oh, okay. So what was my card story? No matter how hard you hold on to your material possessions, if they are meant to leave you, they will. My pride and my fear won't even allow me to reach out and ask for help. But I know if someone helps me, I can find, or I can figure out a way to come out of this difficult situation. So she is looking for a helping hand of sorts, but her pride and her fear is not letting her to ask for help. And that is also equally important here, is when you need help, you ask for it. That is the number one important thing, I guess, that you should have. It's got nothing to do with pride. It's just that you need help, ask for it. At the most, you'll hear the words no, but maybe you'll hear a yes. So what was your card story all about? What were your keywords and what were your journal entries like? Take a picture, post it on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, and use the hashtag #LearnThisDeck and fives, minor arcana, and Dreaming Way Tarot. And so we can find each other and we can learn from each other, and together we can, learn this deck. So go ahead, do it. Post your pictures, man. Meanwhile, I will come back again tomorrow with the sixes. Until then, stay good, be good, and learn this deck. Bye now.